Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. I'm finally getting around to doing a review on the PYT Warm Day to Night eyeshadow palette and also their Glam glitter gels. And this video has been such a long time coming. PYT actually sent me their palette and one of their Glam glitter gels. I think it was back in like December or January. And I meant to sit down and film this video for you guys because I talked about the eyeshadow palette in a favorites video and you guys were like, I want to hear a full review on it. And then suddenly a whole bunch of time passed and it's now June. And I'm just now getting around to filming this video and sharing it with you guys. But it doesn't mean I'm any less enthusiastic about the product. It just means that I got kind of forgetful and forgot to review it. But I am here right now and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the palette. I'm also going to show you a demo of me getting the eye look that I have today. And I will, of course, be doing swatches of the palette in case you're curious about the shades. So I'm first going to start off by showing you what the palette looks like. So it's got 4 shimmer shades here and then 4 matte shades. And it's the same layout as their original day to night palette. These are just warmer tones. Honestly, I think I like the formula of this palette a little better than their original day to night palette. I like that one. Well, at first I didn't think I liked it, and then when I revisited it, I liked it, and I just think comparing the two, for some reason, maybe it's also just the shades, like I am full over in love with this palette. And at first when I got it, I thought it was really kind of intimidating with regards to shades, but I found that I can create like warm, natural eyeshadow looks all the way up to like these really warm, smoky, fiery looks that are really fun, all with just this palette. And I really think it's a great combination of shades. I do really like the layout of the PYT palettes that have these 2 large pans over here with 2 shades that are going to be the shades you're probably going to be using and not the most, because this shade, every time I use this palette, I do go in with this as a transition shade in my crease, and I normally somehow end up with this champagne shade somewhere on my lid. It's just a really nice shade. I had the little insert somewhere that gave me all the shade names, but honestly, I somehow over the past few months have lost that. So I no longer have that. I can just, point to the various shades. So I would say this palette is quite good. The mattes are nice and pigmented and quite blendable, and the metallics are quite metallic. And I do typically apply the metallic shades with my fingers. And then obviously I use a brush to blend out the mattes. For the look I am wearing today, I used this shade kind of on the inner portion of my eyelid, and then I used this shade here, this gold shade here on the outer portion of my eyelid. I used this matte brown shade right here in my crease as my transition shade, and I used this deep brown over here to line my upper and lower lash line. I didn't dip into these 2 shades today just because I wasn't in the mood for like a super warm look. But if you want to warm up the look even more than what I have on my lids today, you can definitely reach for those 2 shades. And then these 2 shimmers right here are really pretty as well. Actually, let me go ahead and swatch all the shades for you so you can see what they look like. So I've got the 8 shade swatch right here on my arm. These 4 shades right here are the metallic shades, and they are quite metallic, and you can see they're quite pigmented too. And then these 4 here are the matte shades. This being the light transition shade, a slightly deeper, warmer orange, the reddish shade, and the dark brown shade. They didn't swatch as well, but often matte shades just don't swatch as nicely as more metallic shades, but you can see there is quite a big bit of pigmentation there on my arm. I think for more medium to deep skin tones, these shades probably wouldn't show up quite as well as they would on fair to light, maybe to light medium skin. So I do think there is some range that these shades will work, but obviously I think it's the case with almost any eyeshadow palette. The shades are just not going to work for everyone. I think you really have to ask yourself if you are someone that really likes warm shades or you prefer more cool shades, because this palette is definitely a warm toned palette. Though I do really like the addition of this pink shade. I think it's pretty unique for warm toned palettes and it is a really nice, fun addition. That I actually get a lot of use out of. I would say probably the shades I get the most use out of are this one, this one, this one. This one is quite pretty, but it is really copper. I have to be in the mood for it. Obviously this shade, and this shade, this I normally pair with the copper shade if I really want to go for a very warm toned look. In regards to the performance of the shades, the metallics are super metallic. The mattes, they build easily, but they also blend really easily, which is what I'm really looking for in eyeshadow shades. So I think in terms of performance, it's a really great performing palette. I believe the price of this palette is around $28, which all things considered is pretty good for having 8 shades in it, especially in the clean beauty space. You know, there can be quite a range of prices for eyeshadows, and I think that this one is definitely a pretty fairly priced palette, and I think that you do get a really nice variety of shades. So it is a palette that I really have reached for and really have loved. I didn't know if I would be a huge fan of it, but as I've played with the shades and as I've tried this palette out, I think it's a really versatile palette that you can use to create these really warm toned looks, but you can also do kind of these more natural looks as well. So I think it's got a good range. I would recommend it. I think you have to really be in the market for a warm toned eyeshadow palette to like this palette. But if that is something that you're interested in, this is definitely a great option, especially as a more affordable palette as well. So I really have liked it. I really have enjoyed it, and I hope you can see from the demo too that it does work quite well. Okay, so the other product that PYT Beauty came out with not too long ago that caught my attention were these Glam glitter gels. I actually have 2 shades of these. I have the shade in pink and the shade in iridescent, and I'm wearing the shade iridescent on my lids today. I'm gonna start off by swatching the 2 shades for you here. So here's what the 2 shades look like. The top shade is iridescent and the lower shade is just shade pink. And I think you can see from me moving my hand kind of what goes on with these shades. These shades are very shimmery. They definitely, when you look at my lid, you can see the glitter on my lid. However, it's a little interesting because as I move my hand, you can see that at certain angles when the light is hitting, you can't actually see the product. It's almost kind of invisible, especially with the clear shade. So for me, what I have found is these shades definitely layer best on top of other eyeshadows or other products. I wouldn't go in with one of these Glam glitter gels just on my lid without any sort of eyeshadow on underneath it. I have tried it. It does look kind of funny when you're looking in the light just with the way it reflects. But I do think it's a really beautiful like shadow topper to go on top of other products. So I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't use it in the way I traditionally would use a liquid eyeshadow, but I think it is a perfect shadow topper. I also have actually tried them as highlighters on my cheeks, and I find that they work really well in that context as well. They do dry down fully, so they really don't move around on you once you get them in place, which is really good for me because I have hooded eyes that are also very oily. I should mention that the warm eyeshadow palette also wears very well on me, but these Glam glitter gels really do hold in place and they don't slide around and move around because they fully dry down and they don't have a like creamy consistency once they're on my eyelids. So I really do like that about them. My main caveat, like I said, is I just wouldn't go in with them on bare eyelids. I don't think they pack their best punch that way, but I think they're really beautiful products. And if this is the type of product that you see and you were like, wow, I've been missing this product in the clean beauty space, it's worth picking up. But I fully recognize that especially these Glam glitter gels are not the kind of product that everyone is going to love. You have to really be someone that likes the extra bit of glitter, the extra bit of sparkle to really like these products, because they're not for me an everyday type of product. They're when I'm sitting down to film or I'm doing a special makeup look. Then I'll go in with these products, but they're not something I'm reaching for on an everyday basis. That eyeshadow palette, I am reaching for on an everyday basis because it does have that capability, but these Glam glitter gels are really pretty for special occasions, but that would be my recommendation. Or if you just like doing really fun, colorful, funky eye looks, another great option. And in fact, these Glam glitter gels can really be used anywhere on your face. So anywhere you would want a kind of like liquid, like a liquid metallic product, you could use them. So like I said, I've used them as highlighter. They work well for that. You could also, I don't know, if you want to put them on your lips, you could do that. If you wanted, I don't know, if you're doing some really fancy makeup look where you wanted to have iridescent tiger stripes, you could do that with these products. So they really are versatile products. You would have to evaluate yourself whether something like that would make sense in your routine. But I honestly have really enjoyed these. I just haven't mentioned them in my favorites video because I do feel like their application and their use is kind of limited. You have to understand how to use them. They do blend out easily. As you saw, I did swipe it on my eyelid, that blend out my finger. It works really well that way, but it's just not a product that I personally reach for every day. But I think if you're looking for this, it's a great option. I hope you enjoyed finally hearing my thoughts on the warm eyeshadow palette and also on the Glam glitter gels. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also be sure to click that subscribe button so you can see more of my reviews, more of my thoughts on products, and just more of my content in general. And check me out on Instagram. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirl to see more of me there. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!